leadership that you bring and the way that you reach out to teammates even away from the game and at night or away from the arena. Why do you do that, and what do you think that brings to the team at times?
Well, I do it because, this game is just bigger than what you see on the floor. It's all the stuff that happens behind the scenes that happen when no one's watching, when the games are won. So, always staying in tune. I think so many times people forget that, when you're competing for something like we're competing for, it's not just the game. It's a 24-hour process. 7 days a week of trying to prepare for this game and trying to prepare for the next game. Anything that you do outside of that can affect what you do when it's time to play in this game. So just always trying to stay locked in, try to keep a pulse of the team, of where guys are mentally, emotionally, and just try to, help with that.
And how differently do you have to compose, say, a text to KD as opposed to a text to Steph or to Clay?
Well, that's all a part of knowing your guys. You got to know what buttons to push with guys, and it's different for everyone. But that's not something that happens overnight. That's something that happens over time. That you kind of figure out what helps and what works for particular guys. You can't lead everybody the same way. It's different styles of leadership that you must take on when dealing with different guys. And so that's kind of just something that I've learned over the course of my years. Something that Coach Izzo used to tell me a lot. You can't lead a guy if you don't know him. And so it's a process.
Draymond, did you see the clip of LeBron last night reciting
that
what
was
happened?
impressive.
But could you do the same thing, I imagine?
Yeah, I think I can. That was impressive, though.
He got applause for it, even.
He should have got more than that. He should have got a standing ovation. That was very impressive.
Do you feel like you have a photographic memory about things that happen in certain games?
Yeah, I can kind of, at times I watch a ton of film, at times I don't watch any. So I can kind of, remember what went wrong on any given play. But nonetheless, that was impressive.
Draymond, at this time of year, do you become a film rat, or do you not sweat the details because you've seen this team 100 times?
I watch a ton of film this time of year. Just because everything I do, I try to consume myself with the game. I don't, whether it's just sitting at home on the couch, icing, stretching, just whatever I do, I just try to make sure I am at the peak of where I can be. And so I do watch a ton of film. You gotta you gotta beat somebody 4 times. That's not easy to do. Teams are always making adjustments. So, just watching film, trying to see different counters that, someone may come with, or, just trying to dissect what they're trying to do at a different level, at this time of year for sure.
Draymond, what do you think of having these evening practices throughout the season on the road? What do you think that's done for you guys overall?
It does a lot. You come off of, we mainly do it when we come east. What's the southeast, whatever. But, it helps a lot because, you get off a 3.5-hour flight, 4-hour flight, sometimes 5-hour flight. Most people, you go to the hotel room, you eat, and lay down or whatever it is, but just to come in, get off the plane, get your legs moving, get a feel for the ball, I think it makes a huge difference. I know it helps me, feel a lot better that next day. It's not so much, every time we get off the plane, we're like, we gotta go to the gym. But that next day, you feel so much better. I think it helps us a lot.
Do you think the Rockets have what you would traditionally call a big three?
What's a big three? I think that's a term people that made up. So, what's a big three?
3 star players that stand out above everybody else on the court.
They stand out more than anybody else? I don't know. Who would their big three be?
Well, that's the question. Do they have a big three?
No, you're asking, so you must think they have a big three. So I'm asking you, who are the 3?
I don't know. I've heard that they had a big three, and I want to know if you thought they had a big three.
Oh, I study all their players. Every single one of them is good and can beat us. So I don't study any three particular players. I study all of them. Number one, I may end up on all of them. So I have to know what every guy likes to do in his tendency. And I know they got maybe 5, 6 guys, if not more, that have scored more than 20 points in the game this season. So if you study your three players, you're wrong.
How much of a challenge is this team specifically to your team's normal defensive principles, the things that you try to do every week?
They shoot a lot of threes. Our defense is kind of built on trying to take the three out of the game, so that's not, it's a challenge because they're very good at it. But it's not a challenge in the sense of it's not what we don't practice and try to take away anyway. I think that's the focus of everybody defense in the NBA nowadays. But when I think they do, they surround Capella with 4 shooters. He's a lob threat at the rim. James penetrating, getting in the teeth of the defense, kicking out for threes or throwing up for a lob, finishing at the rim. They definitely cause a lot of problems. That's why they, are where they are right now. But I think we've kind of seen it all. But every game is different. Every series is different. You gotta go in that series locked in, but with an open mind that you may have to make adjustments, which you feel like may work from the beginning, just may not. So we're prepared for it, ready to play.
James and Clay grew up in Southern California playing against each other. Now they've played against each other in college, and now they're going against each other in this league. What do you look for when those two go head-to-head during the kind of games that they both have?
For a win.
Thank you.